Yes, welcome Pururaj. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, how are you feeling this afternoon?
So it's a pleasant afternoon. I'm feeling very well. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
good. So congratulations on clearing the two hurdles, the preliminary and the main examination. And I can see that you are an engineer, chemical engineer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you see, I believe there are more than 70,000 variations of chemicals in the world. And they are some of the agents which are responsible for degradation of water and soil both. So what are your views on that?
So I believe there are some basic chemicals which constitute the wide variety of chemicals that we have in the world. And the way that we use chemicals is important. So chemicals might be used for various useful purposes which can benefit humanity. But at the same time, when these chemicals are uh, presented to the environment in a very when they are presented to the environment in a very unprofessional manner, in the way that they are not treated properly, then it poses a great challenge for the entire humanity. In this respect, sir, when I was in IIT Bombay, I got the chance to visit various sewage treatment facilities as part of a specialized course. So I was able to study this aspect comprehensively.
Okay. So you think that proper management of chemicals can reduce the environmental hazards?
Yes, sir, I certainly believe so.
Okay. Now, a large number of rivers in India are now becoming chemical drains. So how do we, treat that problem, or how do we handle that issue?
So, in this respect, sir, since I come from Jaipur, I recall that we have Dravavati River, which has had this problem for quite some years now. And the government has taken various steps like establishment of newer sewerage plants and imposition of strict responsibility on polluting industries nearby. However, sir, I believe that in order to comprehensively eradicate this problem, we will need the support of the general public as well. Because no matter that the major polluter are the industries, but the ultimate responsibility for upholding the cleanliness of rivers and ecosystems lies with the public. In this respect, sir, I believe that public awareness and spot fines can be a crucial way to deal with this problem.
Okay. Now, since you come from Rajasthan, a foreigner comes and asks you, why should I visit Rajasthan? Can you explain him in a few sentences why should he visit Rajasthan?
So, Rajasthan is the land of colors, and the vibrant nature of Rajasthan and its diversity are a true asset to this nation. So, my message to a foreigner would be that if you wish to see uh, diversity in action, the fraternity in people in action, you should definitely come visit Rajasthan. If you wish to see the historical strength of India, you should definitely come visit Rajasthan because we are in no dearth of forts and colorful festivals and various occasions where we celebrate our diversity and our existence.
Okay. Now, Tell me about the situation in Palestine. Has India's stand on this issue been correct, or should we have taken a different stance?
So we saw that uh, there is a militant organization in Palestine called Hamas, which inflicted a terrible attack on Israel on October 7 last year. And I believe that India took a very principled stand by criticizing the terrorist attack and at the same time upholding its stance on two-state solution. I very well agree with the diplomatic stance that India has taken. And in the near future, sir, I believe that India can also very well take up the role of a mediator in the process.
What do you mean by Bretton Woods institutions?
So, during the world wars, we see catastrophic damage and loss of public life. So, in order to undertake a reconstruction of the entire globe, Bretton Woods Conference was organized, and in this respect, two institutions were created, the World Bank and the IMF. Uh, these institutions were mainly responsible for funding the critical infrastructure in developing nations and at the same time uplift the quality of life in these countries.
What is the difference between the World Bank and the IMF?
So, the World Bank is a collection of five organizations and it is responsible for funding of key infrastructure projects in developing and less developed nations. While on the other hand, sir, IMF is responsible for uh, external market management for these nations. So, for instance, if a nation is facing problems like balance of payment crisis, then IMF will kick in and will help the nation.
Now, can you tell me what is the first book ever written on economics?
So my knowledge on economic aspect is limited. So I apologize. I do not know the answer to this question.
And what was the first university in the world?
So as far as I recall, sir, based on the ancient civilizations that we have had in the world and their progression over time, my best bet would be that Takshila University is probably the oldest university in the world. Uh, it was around 2nd BCE and it flourished from that time till 3rd to 4th century AD.
Now, my last question is, what is your vision of India 10 years from today?
So, in the recent years, I see that India is making exceptional progress in all walks of life, be it the economy, in which we are now global leaders in growth rate, be it the aspect of science and technology, and in agricultural production, and upholding the quality of life of our citizens. However, sir, I believe that 10 years down the line, there might be newer challenges for our developing nation to address. These nations can come from the very technology that we are developing, like artificial intelligence. Uh, and I believe that India is very well capable of addressing these issues. So I see that India will be working very well to reduce its inequalities, uh, its income disparity, its digital inequalities, and will be a bright spot in the near future, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Pururaj. Now, Alokji will ask you some questions. Alokji is from the Indian Police Service.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Pururaj, you are from a very prestigious institute, IIT Delhi, IIT Mumbai, isn't
Yes,
it?
sir.
And did you work anywhere after your graduation, or?
So during the placements that we have at IIT Bombay, I was offered a placement at a very prestigious pharmaceutical company, Dr. Reddy's Limited.
Okay,
However, sir, I was very clear about the civil services and I decided not to join the company, sir.
okay, fine, absolutely fine. So earlier there used to be only 5 IITs initially, like from Kharagpur, Kanpur, Bombay, Delhi, and Chennai, Madras. Now we have IIT in every state. So do you think that brand IIT as it is used to be, like if you go to US and you say that you are from IIT, then you are already put on a very high pedestal. So now with so many IITs coming up and not proper infrastructure, not proper faculty, do you think that this brand has diluted?
So I believe that the increase in the number of IITs over the years has very well addressed the increasing aspirations of our citizens and their abilities to engage in technological innovations and engineering. However, sir, there has been some concerns about the quality of the education that we're imparting. This is also expressed in employability data, which was around 50% for newer graduates in 2023. So as far as the brand IIT is concerned, sir, I believe that there is definitely a need to work on the skilling and the industry mismatch that we are currently facing, sir. But I feel that the IITs and the students graduating have a very bright future ahead.
Okay, okay, fine. Farmers' agitation. This was a couple of years back on the farmer bill. But this was confined to a very limited area, like say Western UP, Punjab, Haryana, etc., etc. It was not all over the country. Why was this confined to certain pockets only?
So we saw the farmers' agitation in 2020 over the passage of 3 farm laws. In my opinion, sir, these 3 farm laws wanted to increase the farmers' access to the market. And however, sir, the protests were confined to 3 areas only because there were apprehensions on the part of farmers that MSP system, which has been the backbone of our food security and income security for the farmers, this might be affected. And since we see that the MSP regime is mostly popular in Punjab, Haryana, and Western UP, maximum procurement has been observed in that area. More of the protests were also seen from that area, sir.
Okay. You play snooker in pool.
Yes, sir.
And what is the difference between snooker and billiards?
Yes, sir. Uh, Snooker and billiards both are played on the same table, sir. And snooker evolved a bit later than billiards. However, sir, the main difference between these two sports is the technique and the actual rules of the game. So in snooker, we have a more variety of balls and a more tactical approach. However, in billiards, we have a completely different type of game. In this, we have to actually score points uh, in some diverse ways. So, for instance, when I played billiards for quite some time, uh, we actually have to pot the object ball in this game. While in snooker, we have to play the object ball to pot some other ball to get points. So these are some basic differences.
There is a concept of green wall in Rajasthan. Have you heard of this? What exactly is this and what is the purpose of that?
Sir, as far as I recall, sir, green wall is very similar to the green wall that we have in Africa. So it is, in my opinion, sir, a way to stop the advancement of desertification in our state.
Mhm.
And since Aravallis and the area around it acts as a natural barrier in Rajasthan between the arid areas and the more fertile areas, I believe that the Green Wall project is encompassing the states which host Aravallis. But I may not be at the moment be aware about the technical aspects of it, sir.
Okay. Okay. The child marriage, despite there is a Child Marriage Act, is still very prevalent in Rajasthan. Could you trace the reason for that?
Sir, the child marriage is a social problem and a social evil in Rajasthan.
Mhm.
And if we look at the NFHS data, sir, there has been a reduction from 33% to 23% in prevalence of child marriages in Rajasthan. But this is still a very serious concern, sir.
Mhm.
I believe, sir, that the origin can be traced to early medieval India, where in Rajasthan, if I start a bit earlier as well, so in Rajasthan, there was tribal migration from northwestern part of India, and at that time, India boundary was not very demarcated. And when we come to the medieval India, there was further migration of Central Asian tribes. So there were apprehensions that the widespread looting and massacre may lead to a degradation of culture and a very there were apprehensions that it might be a bit harmful for the society in general. So the concept of child marriages was started in order to safeguard the family structure and at the same time prosper the society.
Okay. My last question to you, since you are a chemical engineer, there's a ethanol blending is happening in the country now. What percentage we have achieved so far? What are the targets? And can one go for 100% ethanol blending?
So ethanol blending is a very noble project and a very useful project by the government of India in support of the states. The target is 20% ethanol blending by 2025, and we are very much near achieving this target. Uh, as far as 100% blending of ethanol is concerned, sir, I believe that it might be possible. However, we currently lack the technology to undertake that blending. So, for instance, a 20% blend with petroleum or diesel provides a very optimum delivery of the vehicle. But to take this scenario to from 20% to 100% will require better engine technology. I think research is required in this aspect, and IITs can play a crucial role in that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Pururaj, so how did you feel about your interview today?
Sir, I personally feel that I was a bit hesitant in some questions since this is my first mock interview and my first interview at UPSC. So, but on a later stage, I think I picked my momentum up.
When do you have the date of the interview?
Sir, I have not yet received the date in the first place.
Okay. But you have done very well. That is our assessment. You have done well. Of course, you can improve upon it, and we will give you some suggestions how to go about that. Now, a few things. One is that I find that sometimes you do the guesswork. Like on the child marriage, you try to do the guesswork and it didn't work, and then you also stumbled in the process.
Yes.
So don't do that. There's no harm in saying that I don't know. You are not expected to know everything in the world, because in interview they can ask you anything. So some questions where you are not sure what is the answer, then you please regret, sorry, I don't know about it.
Yes.
It's not taken adversely at all. Okay, so that is one thing. Secondly, sometimes you prolong your answer, including things which are not necessarily connected with your question. So don't try to do that. You confine yourself specifically to the question. If the board wants to know more, they will ask you supplementary questions. Okay, that is very clear on that. And then I will suggest that every word which you have written in your def, go over it carefully. It can generate some questions, whether it is Jaipur or Rajasthan. Like, for example, in Rajasthan, I ask you the tourist. Now you should have started this. It's a land of, palaces and forts. Eh? It offers great cultural diversity. It's a land of festivals. It has desert. It has parks. It has, the sanctuaries, all kinds of things. Bird sanctuary. You have animal reserves and all that. So you should have gone that way.
Yes.
And of course, the colorful part. So try to put it in a way that the first few sentences are more addressed to the core issue of the question, and then you can go down to the other issues. So try to do that. Now, otherwise, your presentation is very good. You are very, I would say, smooth in presenting yourself. Your structure of sentence is very good. So that's not a problem at all. Your personality is good. Now, few other things. One is that you should prepare a list of about 30-35 current issues which are in the news, in newspaper and in media.
Yes.
And make a half a page write-up on each one of them. So you have clarity, and then you can speak very smoothly in the interview, because current issues in one way or the other will be touched upon in the interview. Some issues will come up. Those issues should include national as well as international. What is happening within the country or within your own state, and also internationally. Internationally, anything can happen, but our relations with our neighbors are very important. With Bangladesh, with Sri Lanka, with Maldives, with Pakistan, with China. This is more important, more focused. Situation in South China Sea, conflict in Ukraine, conflict in Palestine, the current issues.
Yes.
And of course, nationally, in the functioning of the parliament, the new laws which have been passed, the reservation for women, the women's empowerment, how it is happening. Since Rajasthan, is lacking behind in that. So that is another question. The forthcoming parliamentary elections in the country. The questions like that can be asked.
Yes.
So prepare a list of about 30-35 issues and make a short write-up, because that will give you clarity of thought, and then you will be able to speak very clearly. Then also have a glance of the Constitution of India. Go over the preamble, the fundamental rights, center-state relations, directive principles of state policy. Some principal provisions you should have a look. The new laws which have been the criminal laws and the Evidence Act, all those 3 new laws have been enacted. Have a brief idea about those laws you should have. Which law is replacing which law of the British time. Then something on the economy of India, because economy is very relevant and very important issue. So if possible, read the Economic Survey of India, which will be presented in the parliament shortly. It's a small book which will give you complete idea about the Indian economy, how it is doing. and how it's likely to happen. We are not only the fifth largest, but we are also having good foreign exchange reserves.
Yes.
Our inflation rate is reasonably under control. Our banks are now strong. Earlier, there were a lot of NPA issues. Now, banks are fairly strong. So the infrastructure is solid. It's growing very fast. So all these positive sides. So I think each kind of preparatory work will help you tremendously. And then you should know about your own subject. Chemical engineering, that's also related to the environmental issues. So read a little bit about environmental issues concerning, chemical engineering, chemical part, pharmaceutical industry, where we are doing very well. So that's also related to your field. So I would suggest these are the things you should cover. And don't do the guesswork. That will help you. You can regret saying, sorry, sir, I don't know about this. That's better than getting into guesswork and then stumbling later on. Otherwise, you have done very well and you will do very well. Now, Alokji will also give you some suggestions to improve further. Okay.
Okay, Pururaj, very well done. I'm very happy with interacting with you. And yes, sir rightly pointed out, in child marriage, unnecessarily went into the history of child marriage, and you sort of, there you goofed. There's no doubt about it. Now, one thing I see that the choices which you have given of your services, like DANIPS and DANIX, I see that you have placed at 13th and 14th position. Any person of ordinary prudence will not give us class 2 service higher rank than as compared to the class 1 services. So you must be having a reason for that. So be prepared for an answer to that, number one. Similarly, you have placed Indian Foreign Service in between customs and income tax. Normally, people either put Foreign Service as the first choice, second choice, or third choice, and generally income tax and customs go together. So any specific reason, this can be if someone from any service can ask this. So must be having a proper answer prepared for that. Okay. And as most of the things I think sir has already covered, so I will not repeat. Knowing about your home state, that is something very important. And since you have studied in IIT in Bombay, so Bombay also, idea of Bombay, Maharashtra also. So basically all the DAF points, every word in your DAF can be a potential question. So prepare on those lines since you have plenty of time away right now. So you can do that. Newspapers, which newspapers you are reading right now nowadays?
So the Indian Express and the Hindu.
The Hindu.
Yes.
Okay. You may like to add one financial newspaper also. That will sort of, as sir pointed out, Economic Survey of India will definitely come up before your intermediate. So please do go through that. And
Yes.
I think you're well poised and you're very smart, very proper articulation. No doubt you will do well. And this is your first attempt or what? Second attempt?
Sir, this is my second attempt.
Second attempt.
Yes.
First attempt, what happened?
Sir, I missed the interview cutoff by 3 marks, sir.
Okay, 3 marks. Okay. I hope you have done well this time.
Yes, sir. Last year I could not even complete the papers, but this time I am confident, sir, that I will make it.
Yes, we are also confident that you should make it. All the best.
You will do it. You will do it well. You have any other query?
Sir, I had reservations about my body language during the interview, but I think
Body language is very good. Absolutely. No problems.
yes, sir.
You
That's
can
good
keep
to hear.
little smile sometimes in between, but otherwise you are perfect. Your articulation is very good. So don't worry about that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So wish you good luck. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
You can log out.
Sure, sir. So it was great conversation with you, sir. Thank you.